The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look at my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. If you're in the market for a brand new or slightly used automobile, you owe it to yourself. Before you make this big commitment, you owe it to yourself to head over to Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. As I've mentioned plenty of times, they have a great sales department, great service department, and a great finance department. Add it all up, you have a great dealership. So before you put down your before you put your hard-earned money down and make a big-time financial commitment on a brand new or slightly used automobile, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your wallet to make a trip over to Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. Didn't take phone calls yesterday. We were too busy getting involved in the boys tournament, breaking it down, divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Certainly more than welcome to take some phone calls today. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. With you till 3 o'clock. Coming up at 1, we will hear from Vindicator and Tribune Chronicle sports editor Doug Chapin. And we will catch up with the manager, the head baseball coach. I hate that term. The manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Bertolini. He'll be coming up at 2 o'clock. Had an opportunity to go to Boardman last night to check out the Boardman-Canfield girls basketball game. A couple of teams that are Division I. Canfield knocked off Boardman last night, 38-29. I will say this: both teams are going to have to play much better when the tournament opens on Saturday. Curtain goes up for real on Saturday. You've had your regular season, but the curtain goes up for real on Saturday. If you have any plans of making a deep run into the tournament, well, both teams are going to have to play a little bit better than last night's. A lot of turnovers, a lot of missed baskets, but in the end, Canfield better than Boardman as they beat the Spartans on the Spartans' floor, 38-29. I'll be over at Liberty today. Doing an MVAC Gray Tier boys basketball game between Liberty and Crestview. Liberty played and beat Crestview on the Rebels' home floor the last time these two teams met. I'll be curious to see what happens tonight when Crestview invades Liberty. Bowling yesterday. Yesterday morning, the D2 sectional bowling tournament got underway. Congratulations to Hubbard, Liberty, Girard, and Struthers. They advanced to the district bowling tournament that will be played later on this month. The top 4 teams went to the district. There were, how many teams were there? 13 teams that were playing in this tournament. Top 4 went to the district. And again, congratulations to Hubbard, Liberty, Girard, and Struthers. Top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team advancing to the district. And we go all the way down to number 11, Macy Devine from Brookfield. The top 10 players were on teams that advanced to the district. So you got to go all the way down to number 11 in Macy Devine from Brookfield. Also advancing, Allison Brainer from Brookfield, Angela Madsey from Campbell, and congratulations to Sarah Reeks from LeBray. Those were the 4 kids that were not on a team that advanced, but they were the top 4 individuals that were not on a team that had already advanced. So the top 4 individuals advanced to the district. So congratulations to them. The other sectional tournament was played. Top 2 teams went to the district. Champion won this particular sectional. There was 9 teams in all that bowled, and Champion advanced along with Cuyahoga Heights. Champion was so good, the top 2 bowlers were from Champion. Top 2 bowlers were from Champion. As a matter of fact, Champion had 3 of the top 6 bowlers in this sectional tournament. Who was it? Carissa Dixon bowled a 548, and that's over 3 games. That's not too shabby. That's an average of about 182, if I'm doing the math correctly. About 182. Close to 183 per game. That's ridiculously good. But congratulations to Champion. They move in to the Division II district. So congratulations to those bowling teams. We do have the latest AP poll outs. It hasn't changed much. Struthers and McDonald in boys basketball, the only 2 teams from the area that are getting any kind of love. Struthers, number 7 in the state of Ohio in Division II. McDonald got a first place vote. They are number 5 in the state of Ohio. McDonald is 16-0, and Struthers is 16-0 as well. As I think they're 2 weeks away from ending the regular season, and then the tournaments get going. The girls' tournament starts next week, although in Division I, it starts this Saturday. We made mention last night on the broadcast that Canfield and Boardman would both be in action this Saturday. D1 opens everything up, as they will with the boys' tournament. D1 will be first. D2, 3, and 4 will be, and I believe it is 1 week from today or 1 week from tomorrow. D2, D3, and D4 will begin their tournament in girls play. But the boys, they have 2 weeks of the regular season left, and hopefully some teams will get in the absolute most that they can get in. McDonald got a victory last night over Lowellville. They picked up a 60-55 victory over Lowellville in Lowellville last night. So congratulations to them. We can talk some high school basketball. Anything else on your mind, hit me up on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. We made mention yesterday when we had Bob Hannon on. YSU football is going to be starting 2 weeks from Sunday, this past Sunday. It'll actually be 1 week from this coming Sunday. We will have college football. And normally, Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, that's it for football. And normally when Super Bowl Sunday comes and goes, everyone is now thinking about the next thing. For me, it's baseball. And pitchers and catchers will be reporting, I believe, in 8 days, next Wednesday, pitchers and catchers report, although some of them are going to be meandering in 6 days from now. But the sports clock is turned around a little bit to where, and again, I work with Youngstown State. I do some stuff both on the air and on the field. So my football season is not over yet, which part of me is like, all right, I'm looking forward to this. And then another part of me is wondering, and we talked a little bit about this with Bob Hannon yesterday. You know, the YSU football Penguins are going to be playing a season beginning 2 weeks from this past Sunday. They're going to open up the season against North Dakota State on Sunday afternoon, February the 21st. 1 week, I should say. 1 week from this coming Sunday, they're going to be opening up the season against North Dakota State. The season itself, the regular season, is going to end on Saturday, April the 10th, when the Penguins play Missouri State. And if the Penguins are fortunate enough to get into postseason, well, they may be playing football into late April, early May. Now, I said this yesterday, and while I love seeing any of our local teams go and win a championship, let's be honest here for just a second. They're planning on making sure that everything goes back to normal or some kind of normal. You're going to play football in the fall. The turnaround in this, it's not going to be very long. Even if you end the season on April the 10th, the turnaround is going to be 3 months, 3.5 months, and then you'll start up again. Now, I look at it as everyone is normally practicing in the springtime, and it cultivates with, or I should say, spring practice closes out with the spring game, the red and white game if you're a Youngstown State fan, scarlet and gray if you're an Ohio State fan. You get what I'm saying. And they normally play it on a Saturday, and you normally have some people there, and it's pretty much a big to-do. And then everyone shuts down, and you'll go to work on your own and, keep lifting weights, keep getting stronger, the whole 9 yards. And then come August, fall practice starts, everyone gets into it, and then the season gets underway. Well, this isn't going to be spring practice per se. You're having a full season here. 8 games, pretty much a full season. You're going to have a full conference season. You're going to have 8 games beginning 1 week from Sunday, February the 21st. The season ends on April the 10th. Regular season does. If you're good enough, you go into the postseason. You figure you're going to be playing at least through April the 17th, possibly longer, depending on how good you are. Let's say that you get into the Final Four. Well, there's 3 weeks. May 1st. May 8th is the national championship game, or it's supposed to be somewhere in that vicinity, May 8th. And you're off for 2.5 months, and then you'll go into the fall practice. I don't have a problem. Let me rephrase this. I won't lose any sleep if Youngstown State doesn't make the playoffs this year. I'm not going to be too disappointed for this year, because if you play your 8 games and the season ends on April the 10th, and now you can sit back, kick back, relax for about 3.5 months, and then get it all started again in August, and then go till November, December, however long football season is. My guess is the longer you go in this spring game, the more ineffective your team is going to be in the fall. Now, I might be wrong on this, and clearly North Dakota State is more than good enough, and they've been proven to be more than good enough to probably buck that trend. But given the fact that you're not going to have much of a turnaround the longer you go into this season, you may not be on point for the fall. And the fact that Youngstown State has a first-year coach, a lot of young kids. Again, I hope they go to the playoffs. I hope that they, can win a championship. I'll never say no to a championship, but I'm not going to lose any sleep if they don't go to the playoffs. Because if the season is over on April the 10th, then this team can go 3.5 months and have a somewhat of a normal off season, or as normal as can be, and then get ready for the fall. We'll see what happens. But YSU schedule, good God. They open up with North Dakota State. Northern Iowa comes to YSU. Good Lord. Southern Illinois will come to YSU on March the 6th. Then the Penguins go to South Dakota State. The top four, or the first four games, 3 of those teams are probably going to be in the top 10, if not the top 6. And Southern Illinois will be somewhere in the top 25. And then, oh, by the way, you play South Dakota and North Dakota, both at home. You go to Macomb, Illinois, to take on Western Illinois. And then the season ends in Missouri as the Penguins take on Missouri State on April the 10th. So we can talk YSU football if you wish as well. And, oh, by the way, while the Penguins football team is doing their thing, the YSU baseball team is going to be doing their thing. And the YSU softball team is going to be doing their thing. And the YSU track and field team is going to be doing their thing. And the soccer team is going to be doing their – yeah, it's going to be busy. We've made mention it's going to be extremely, extremely busy during the springtime. SIDs are going to be let's just say SIDs are going to probably be inhaling coffee or putting coffee in an IV. It's going to be that busy. All right, 330-886-0813. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. Northeastern Ohio, the Browns fans, Kansas City and San Diego fans, mourning the passing late last night, early this morning. Former coach Marty Schottenheimer passing away. He had been dealing with Alzheimer's for the last 6 years or so. He was in hospice. They announced that on Thursday or Friday, and he passed away late last night, early this morning. Marty Schottenheimer wasn't that old. He was in his 70s. He was not that old. But this Alzheimer's is such a horrible disease, and it just not a good thing. That's for sure. He passed away at the age of 77. Head coach in the National Football League for 21 years. Schottenheimer was best known for taking teams that weren't very good and getting those teams into the playoffs. There were a number of really good teams that Cleveland had under Marty Schottenheimer. Unfortunately, they just couldn't win a championship. Couldn't get that team into the Super Bowl. They lost the AFC championship games in '86 and '87. Marty was fired by Art Modell after the '88 season. He went to Kansas City, turned the fortunes of Kansas City around. I know he led the Chiefs to an AFC title appearance against the Bills in '93, and then he was let go there. Went to San Diego, turned San Diego's fortunes around. Had a number of teams that went to the playoffs there. Unfortunately, Marty never got a team into the Super Bowl. Much like Chuck Knox, another guy that was very famous for turning programs around, and but never able to get into the able to get into the Super Bowl. I know Chuck Knox spent most of the '70s with the Los Angeles Rams, and the Rams were an afterthought before they hired him, and And he had the Rams on the doorstep, I want to say 3 times. He had them on the doorstep in the NFC Championship game. And each time they just couldn't win the game. Then he went to Buffalo, had the Bills win the East in 1980, went to the playoffs, I believe, in 81. Neither team was able to get the job done. So Marty Schottenheimer, much like Chuck Knox, very successful regular season coach. He just wasn't able to get any of his teams into the Super Bowl. But nonetheless, he will be a Hall of Fame coach. He won over 200 games, and every single head coach in the National Football League that has ever won 200 games in the NFL, they are all inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I would expect Marty Schottenheimer to be inducted as well. Unfortunately, it'll be posthumously, as Marty Schottenheimer passed away late last night, early this morning from Alzheimer's disease at the age of 77. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We'll take a time out, take some phone calls. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will hear from Tribune Chronicle and Vindicator sports editor Doug Chapin. He'll call in the program at 1 o'clock. And then coming up at 2 o'clock, he is the guy, the leader of the YSU baseball program, the manager, the head coach, whatever you want to call him. Dan Bertolini joins the show at 2 o'clock. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Got to ask, now that the Super Bowl is come and gone, here we are, February the 9th. We're about a week away from pitchers and catchers reporting. And, Normally I'm juiced up for this. Normally I am. I'm fired up for baseball. I'm always fired up for baseball. I mean, that's my sport. I don't know if it's because of the commitments that we're going to have with YSU, with the football team. I don't know if it's the fact that the Indians and the Pirates are both expected to be not so good this year. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm still pissed off at Major League Baseball for a variety of reasons, but I got to be honest with you, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm not into the excitement that I normally have at this point, where you're so close to pitchers and catchers reporting. I mean, I can remember years and years and years ago. Oh, man, I was like a kid at Christmas. Back in those days, you would listen to the flagship station of your team. And if you're a Pirates fan, it was KDKA 1020, not the FM station, because you didn't have all sports stations back at the time. And then in Cleveland, it was, where it is now, except it was 3WE. And you would listen to these two stations, and a reporter would be on, and they would be given updates from Pirate City and Bradenton, Florida, or Tucson, Arizona, where the Indians trained for the longest time. And I'd listen to Pete Franklin at nighttime, and Pete would go to Tucson, Arizona, and he would be talking about how good the chimichangas were in Tucson. And I swear it's probably one of the reasons why I love Mexican food to this day, is because it was pounded into my head how great chimichangas are. By the way, they are. Oh, my God. They're good. But I was like a kid in a candy store. I couldn't get enough of the spring training information. Today, I'm like, okay. Yeah, no big deal. Is it because I'm not expecting much of the Indians? I'm surely not expecting much of the Pirates. I mean, the Pirates have pretty much made the announcement that they're ready to compete in 4 years. That they want to rebuild and gut the system, rebuild it, get the farm system to where it should be, and get some, work within your farm system like any small market team. Work within your farm system. Get those guys to do their job, and hopefully 60% of the prospects turn out to be legit. And then they, are new Pirates, and in 6 years you got this window before they become free agents. You got this window, and hopefully you're able to win a World Series that way. And it's something that can be done. For the Indians, haven't seen it in a while. And I don't think the Indians have torn everything down. They simply traded away a person that they were not going to be able to sign. I have no ill will toward the Dolan family. No ill will toward anyone in that organization. The reality is, and it sucks as a small market team in Major League Baseball, but the reality is the Indians couldn't afford Francisco Lindor. And they didn't want to pay $300 million over 10 years or whatever the hell he's going to get. And it is what it is. And it's not like the Indians have torn it all down. I mean, the Indians still have a really good pitching staff. Unfortunately, not much offense. So there'll be a lot of 3-1, 2-1 type of games in Cleveland this year. And it is what it is. But I'm just not excited. For whatever reason, I'm not excited for the start of Major League Baseball. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the fact that this is probably going to be the last year of Major League Baseball before a lengthy lockout. I don't know if I'm preparing myself for that. I don't know if it's the lack of excitement. Whether it's, we still have football on the horizon, no pun intended. I don't know. But I'm not excited for baseball right now. I don't understand why. Maybe it's because we're still in the midst of tournament basketball. I don't know. All I know is pitchers and catchers report a little over a week from now, and I don't have the excitement level that I normally do. On the flip side, if you're a football fan and you saw your team play and saw the Super Bowl and blueprint to beat Kansas City, you got to have a pass rush, and you got to have a physical secondary. If you're if you're one of your teams was a playoff team, mine was, and Browns fans, yours was, Steeler fans, yours was. How do you go about this this upcoming season? By the way, the salary cap hasn't been announced yet, but the Browns right now, if they were to keep the salary cap as is, they're about $30 million over. The Bills are about $4 million over. The Steelers are $19 million under. Now, that number's probably going to change when a couple of guys announce their retirement. Pouncey is probably going to be one of them that'll announce his retirement. Who knows what Roethlisberger will do? We'll see what the Steelers do with Roethlisberger. Maybe that's one of the other reasons why I'm not so excited for spring training. It's the fact that the NFL has now become a 12-month business. I don't know. I just all I know is I'm not as excited for baseball as I normally am, and I find it weird. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Are you in the same boat as me on this? We're about a week or so away from pitchers and catchers reporting, and I'm not feeling it right now. I'm going to be honest, I'm not feeling it. I'd love to hear from someone who's in the same boat, or if you're a baseball fan and you're excited for it, let me know why. Give me some excitement, because I just right now I'm having a hard time getting excited about baseball for whatever reason. All right, play basketball from yesterday. You had 5 guys games on the docket. Kennedy knocked off Bristol 77-64. Kennedy's the 2 seed in Division 4. And the big news that Anthony and I talked about when we broke down the high school basketball tournaments, instead of going away from McDonald and being the top seed in their own district, Warren JFK went right into McDonald's district. That, to me, was absolutely incredible. McDonald had, or I should say, Kennedy had the choice to go away from McDonald and be the top seed in their own district. Number 2 seeds normally have that option, and 99 times out of 100, the 2 seeds will go away from the 1 seed and pretty much be the top seed in their own district. Kennedy chose to go into McDonald's district, meaning if it's chalk, if there are no upsets, you will have McDonald playing Warren JFK for a district championship instead of the possibility of McDonald and JFK winning their district tournaments. JFK decided, we're going to go into McDonald's district. I'll be real curious to see if that decision pays off for them. McDonald, speaking of, they beat Lowellville last night by 5, 60-55. Lowellville's going to be an interesting team in the tournament. Normally they bring it in the postseason, and I can't describe it, but when they play at the Struthers Fieldhouse, through the years when Lowellville was in the tournaments, when the tournaments were all held at the Fieldhouse, Lowellville was one of those teams that just thrived on playing at the iconic Fieldhouse. And they were a tough out come tournament time when they were playing those games at the Fieldhouse. I wonder if this format change, where none of the games are going to be at the Struthers Fieldhouse. District tournaments in Boardman, Salem, Struthers, Harding, LeBray, Mineral Ridge, Fitch, all that stuff goes out the window. This is probably going to be a reality when it comes to how the OHSAA wants to do this. I think this is going to become the reality that the OHSAA, in order to save some money, in order to save money on renting a building, and they have slowly done this, because, again, years and years ago, you would have your sectional and district tournaments played under one umbrella, whether it be the Fieldhouse, Salem, Boardman, Fitch, Mineral Ridge, Harding, wherever the venue. Every single game in that particular tournament would be held in that one place. And now that the OHSAA has come up with the supersized districts, where you have two districts smashed together, combining into one large district with two winners. You'll have two brackets, and you'll have two winners, and the two winners will go on to the regionals, and then everything is back to normal. But gone are the district sites. And they will be replaced by, okay, you're the one seed. Well, you have home court advantage for however long you are in the tournament. So in Division 3, Springfield got the number 1 seed. Mooney got the 2 seed. Mooney decided, no, we're not going to go into Springfield's district. We're going to create our own. So as long as the tournament goes on, Springfield and Cardinal Mooney will have home games in their gymnasium for as long as they're in the tournament, up to and including the district championship game. When you go to the regionals, okay, now that goes back to where we were before. In boys, Division 4 and Division 3, you go to the Canton Fieldhouse. In Division 2, you go to the Canton Civic Center. Division 1, mainly you went to the Convocation Center at Cleveland State. Not sure if they will do that this year or not. But the OHSAA has thrown out the district sites. You no longer have those. And this isn't just going to be a one-year thing. I'm hearing that this is going to be permanent. Now, I got to ask, if you're a basketball fan, I got to ask. And again, those of us that are old enough to remember all the games in one place, and you would have doubleheaders or triple headers, 2 or 3 games for the price of one ticket, those days are gone. This has now become a business. Here's an editorial comment. Take it for what it's worth. You can understand it being a business when you're a professional franchise. The owners aren't just there to get a championship. The owners are there to turn a profit. It makes sense. Colleges are there to turn a profit. Again, it makes sense. I didn't want high school sports to be a business. But over the last 10 years or so, it has in fact become a business. And in order to turn a profit, you got to do some things that you got to get away from tradition if you want to make a profit. That's what the OHSAA is politely saying to everybody. So now you have 2 districts combined into one. Big old tournament. No district games will be in a certain place. The team with the highest seed, they're going to be on home courts as long as they want it. If you're the 1 seed, you're there through the district championship game. And then when we go to the regionals, okay, now we got to rent out a place. We do got to rent out a place. And they'll go back to normal, which is, 4 teams in the region, you'll play in this one particular place. 2 games and 2 semifinal games, 1 championship game. And the 2 semifinal games will be separated by a day or so. Because you don't want to have 2 for the price of 1. It's a business after all. It's a business. Let's be honest here, and let's remember, this is now a business. So you're not going to get two games for the price of 1 anymore in high school sports. It's simply not going to happen because this is now a business. And I think this is one of the reasons why this is changing. Now, if you're a coach, you can look at this and say, okay, hey, if my team is good enough, we're going to be playing in front of the home folk. We're going to be playing in front of in front of our people. We're going to be playing on a court that we know a whole bunch about. We know how tight these rims are or how loose these rims are. We know where the dead spots are on our basketball floor. We know all about this floor. We've practiced on this floor. From that perspective, makes sense. And I think a lot of coaches are going to be liking that. On the flip side, good luck trying to scout the other teams. Here's a spoiler alert. You can't. Because all of the games are going to be played at the exact same time on the exact same day. So unless you decide to let your junior high coaches or your freshman coach or your JV coach go scout a team under normal circumstances. Again, we want to preface all of this under normal circumstances, which it's today's anything but normal with COVID. And again, you're probably not going to be able to do anything anyway with COVID. It's only family and whatnot. You're probably not going to be able to scout a team. But under normal circumstances, you're still not going to be able to scout a team unless you get a junior high coach to scout the team for you. Because every game is going to be held at the exact same time on the exact same day. And you're going to be busy coaching your team. You're going to have to rely on other ways of scouting. Now, this is where YSN comes into a play. From our perspective, this is a pretty good gig. From our perspective, it's going to be pretty fun. Our tournament games, much like the football games this year, are going to be pay-per-view. $9.99. It'll get you the whole evening of basketball, and hopefully everyone's gonna be able to do this. And look, it's going to cost a lot of money to put these games on. The OHSAA fees are, they're up there. This is a business. I'll repeat: high school sports is no longer, just hey, we're doing this. No. Now it's become a business. It has become a business, unfortunately. And, from the perspective of trying to scout from a coach, not going to be able to do that. Now, again, if you're a high seed, you'll be able to play your games on your home floor. There's a trade-off here. From a perspective of, hey, let's go see I want to go see this team, but yeah, I kind of want to see this team too. Well, you're not going to be able to see both of them because, again, you're not going to be seeing any of these games in one neutral site. Those days are gone. So you're going to have to make your choice. Which game do I want to see here? And again, it's for the folks in the media, it's going to suck. We're so used to, oh, well, hey, we got a doubleheader coming up. One game starts at 7, the other game starts at 8:30. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That hasn't happened for a number of years. We're starting to get over that. But it's tough. It's tough. And I'm going to be curious to see just where the coaches are on this one. Yeah, breaking news coming out of TV21, our partners. Tom Pavlansky, and this was rumored to happen. Tom Pavlansky has just taken the Poland boys football gig. He leaves Lakeview, and he's gonna keep remaining as a Bulldog as he goes from one Bulldog to the next Bulldog. Tom Pavlansky was just named the head football coach at Poland. I put an APB out on Tom. I got his information. I got his number and whatnot. And I'll be real curious about the decision behind this. You're going from one Northeast 8 school to another one. I have a feeling why this job was appealing to him, and that's the fact that it's family. You know, his father was very much a part of Poland. And Coach Pavlansky, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. I'd love to hear that as the official reason. But if I were to guess, I would say that had an awful lot to do with it. But Tom Pavlansky goes from the Lakeview Bulldogs gig to the Poland Bulldogs gig. So that made official Tom Pavlansky the new head football coach at Poland, meaning the Lakeview job is now open, which is going to be interesting. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. I want to hear your opinion on the new format for the OHSAA. Now, I'll be honest with you. You know, this is, obviously looking at the gray, I'm up there. I'm a child of the 70s. I can remember when everything was played under one umbrella. When it was A-ball, then Division 4, Division 3, Division 2, Division 1. Early on it was Class A, Class AA, Class AAA. But I can remember many, 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 many a nights spent at the field house watching Class A, Class AAA basketball. I would watch Cardinal Mooney and Boardman and Harding and Warren Western Reserve, and I would watch Sebring and Leetonia and Columbiana, and it was fun. It was a blast. It was a great, great time. All these games, under one umbrella, and it was a nightly occurrence where we'd drive to the field house. My mom and I would drive to the field house, and we'd watch basketball, and it was great. It was fantastic. Well, those days are gone. Those days are now officially gone. Because you're not going to have a district tournament at the field house anymore. You're not going to have a district tournament in Boardman. You're not going to have any more district tournaments anywhere. Those days are officially gone. District tournaments are now going to be held at the home of the higher seed. So if you're McDonald in Division 4, Springfield in Division 3, if you're Struthers in Division 2, you're doing a happy dance right now. Because every single game is going to be played on your home floor for as long as you are in the tournament through the district championship. And then come regional time, you'll start to travel. Look, it makes the regular season that much more impressive and that much more important. And I understand it's a business. And honestly, I kind of like this format, but I don't like losing the tradition. I don't like losing the, district championship game or district semifinals and district finals. Yeah, we're going to move it to this venue. I don't like it. I mean, I understand it's saving you money. I understand it's a business. I get all that. You're kind of taking away some good tradition here. Then again, you slowly took the tradition away about 5 years ago. And I guess you're continuing to slowly take that tradition away and get to a point where, okay, here it is. Here's our new formula. We're going to have 2 districts combined into one. And you have 1 to 24, 1 to 26, 1 to 28, seed them all up and down, and then everyone's going to get moved into whatever tournament, and you're going to be, depending on how high your seed is, you could be home if you're on the road. There's going to be times where you're going to be traveling quite a ways because this isn't going to be one geographical district. No, we've combined 2 into 1. So, we gave this a little how do you do. Wellsville is going to be hosting a team from northern Trumbull County. That team is going to go from northern Trumbull County all the way down the river to southern Columbiana County to play a tournament basketball game. They're going to be traveling 1+ hour, probably closer to an hour and a half, to play basketball. That's part of that's part of the casualty in this. That's part of the bad stuff in this. But all in all, as much as I detest the tradition part of the high school tournament now officially dead through the districts, I got to be honest with you. I kind of like this format. I kind of like this format. I like the format because now the regular season becomes that much more important. You want to play some home games on your floor? That means you got to be good in the regular season. Or you have to get some people's attention by scheduling up. Yeah, the tradition is gone, but I kind of like this. Got to be honest, I kind of like it. All right, again, breaking news. Tom Pavlansky takes the job at Poland. He leaves Lakeview. Last couple of years were not kind to Coach Pavlansky and the Lakeview Bulldogs. They did not have some good years the last couple of years. Coach Pavlansky will leave Lakeview. He takes over the Poland job. And look, I'm guessing at this point, but I'm sure it has an awful lot to do with family. By the way, you think the Canfield-Poland rivalry will reheat? I would expect it to. I mean, you've got the Pavlansky brothers now coaching on either side of 224. Hopefully, Canfield and Poland are meeting on a yearly basis now that Tom Pavlansky has taken over the job as the new head football coach at Poland. Lakeview's job is now open. This is going to be interesting. He's staying in the same conference. That's the other thing that's interesting about this. It's not like you've gone from one school to another and the league is different. You went from one school in the Northeast 8 to another school in the Northeast 8. And again, I think it's got a lot to do with family. The Pavlansky name is very, very large in the village of Poland. And I think that has an awful lot to do with Tom Pavlansky going back home. And again, hopefully now that the Pavlansky brothers are coaching Canfield in Poland, that this rivalry will continue without any problems. I for one, will look forward to seeing these two butt heads and try to outcoach each other. This will be an awful lot of fun, but it's going to make for an interesting hire over in Lakeview. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will hear from Tribune Chronicle and Vindicator sports editor Doug Chapin. Doug Chapin, he is very much involved. When the Vindicator and the Tribune Chronicle were separate, Doug was the sports editor at the Tribune Chronicle. And, when I used to have him on when I was doing sports wrap over at iHeart, we would talk Trumbull County sports. Well, I'll be real curious to hear Doug Chapin's views on this. Now that Tom Pavlansky has left Lakeview to become the new head football coach at Poland High School, I'll be curious to hear what Doug Chapin has to say about this. And frankly, where's Lakeview going to go with this? Where does Lakeview go? Do they hire within the family? Do they get somebody from out of the area? And is there a coach from this area that, much like Tom Pavlansky, does that coach leave one of the teams in the area for the Lakeview job? It's going to be interesting. We'll hear from Doug Chapin at the top of the hour. Coming up at 2 o'clock, we will hear from Dan Bertolini. He's the manager of the YSU baseball team. We will get his take on the upcoming season. Again, YSU opening up the season in Alabama. It won't be long, kids. Youngstown State is going to be opening up the 2021 campaign at Troy. That is going to be next Friday. 1 week from Friday, the Penguins open up a 4-game series in Troy, Alabama, which is south and a little east of Montgomery. South and east of Birmingham, a little closer to Montgomery. Birmingham is in the northern part of the state. Montgomery's in the central part of the state. Troy is in the south central part of the state of Alabama, and it's a little east of Montgomery as well, so southeast. Anyway, the weather should be decent. Next Friday, the Penguins open up a 4-game series with Troy out of the Sun Belt Conference. And then the following week, the Penguins will be in Louisiana as they will take on Nicholls State and LSU. Nicholls State is in Thibodaux, which is an hour south of Baton Rouge. So they'll play Nicholls State Friday afternoon, bus to Baton Rouge, play LSU on Friday night, play LSU at Baton Rouge on Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday afternoon they'll be in Thibodaux taking on Nicholls State, and then they're back home. Should be fun. Anyway, the Penguins baseball season starts next Friday. All right, we'll take a timeout. Coming up next, Tribune Chronicle sports editor, along with Vindicator sports editor Doug Chapin. We're going to get his views on the breaking story. Again, breaking news, courtesy of our brothers and sisters over at TV 21. Tom Pavlansky has left Lakeview. Tom Pavlansky, the new head football coach at Poland. We'll get Doug Chapin's take on this after this timeout. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years. I think whenever we go there, whatever car we're looking for, they have tremendous inventory.
If you're looking for people who care about you, Greenwood is the place to go.
You know, it's like family there. The girls know me in service. It's Miss Kim in the Tahoe.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet. Local teams are heating up the hardwoods, and you can keep up with all the action on and off the court with Five Guys Hoop News all season long on 21 Sports.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focused, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Joining me as he does every Tuesday at this time, the Tribune Chronicle and Vindicator Sports editor, Doug Chapin. Doug, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So news broke about 15 minutes ago that Tom Pavlansky is planning on leaving Lakeview. He has been named the new head football coach at Poland. Now, and obviously the Pavlansky name is largely known in Poland, and without speaking with Coach Pavlansky, one would assume that family has an awful lot to do with his decision.
Yeah, I would expect that. I mean, family's always been important to Tom. The contact I know, I don't know him closely, but from covering games and talking to him after games and before games and whatever, you get an idea of some of these coaches' personalities. And he's been there at Lakeview for so long. It's that's certainly the case there. So yeah, family's important to him, and the connection with Poland with his family is certainly something that would make that an attractive.
One of the things I've always admired about Coach Pavlansky, and it's just one of these things where you go into the locker room at halftime. Coach Pavlansky had always did a great job at Lakeview of adjusting, and he would make the halftime adjustments, and his team would be so much better and so much more prepared in the second half with those halftime adjustments. That's one of the things I look forward to seeing when he roams the sidelines this fall in Poland.
Yeah, I mean that's also comes from having a good staff too. You can delegate, defensive coordinator to work on the defensive adjustments, and and offensive coordinator on the offensive adjustments, whatever. And yeah, that's a good thing. One of the things I liked about him was never, to my knowledge or recollection, threw any of his players or assistant coaches under the bus. It was always it was a loss, or if something happened, it was always his fault. He took responsibility. He sort of jokingly we considered him the coach who would and this isn't meant as denigrating, but he would talk, answer questions, but he'd never say anything substantial or that the answer you're looking for. And he did that to I don't want to say protect his players, but to to take the responsibility himself. It was his fault, and so that was always a good thing about him. You knew he wasn't going to say, "Oh, our kids didn't play well," or whatever. It was he was going to have a positive message in the post game.
Doug, what is the blowback going to be like? Because Tom Pavlansky leaves Lakeview in the Northeast 8 to take a job in the Northeast 8. I mean, he's going to be going back to Lakeview once every 2 years. What is the blowback going to be like up in Lakeview?
I'm not sure. I don't. Who knows? I guess what it would be in any situation where a coach has been there a while. Part of the thing too is in high school athletics, it's really hard to. He's been there 12, 14 years, something like that. It's hard to maintain the same system, attitude. Just being there a long time starts to wear on parents, fans, whatever. No matter how much success you're having, and then as soon as a long-time coach the success starts to dwindle, or they're not having as much success, then it's easy for a fan base to turn on them. And I don't know if that's what happened there. I don't have any facts to that they turned on them or anything like that. But they struggled a little bit the last few years, and I'd imagine it'd be like anything when the former coach comes back to play or to coach against his former team. That people, the players, the fans want to beat them.
Doug Chapin, Tribune, Chronicle, and Vindicator sports editor, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. We're going to shift some gears here. Sunday, the OHSAA announced the seeds and they announced the tournament drawing. How surprised are you that the number 2 seed in Division 4, Warren JFK, instead of becoming the top dog in their own district tournament, they chose to go into McDonald's bracket, in essence, have the top 2 seeds in one bracket? How surprised were you that JFK decided to do that instead of being top dog in their own district bracket?
Well, I mean, it's surprising simply from that fact that you think you want an easier path to the potential regional berth, but it's also a way of sending a message that they're not afraid of anybody, and it can give their kids a boost that way. It's hard to gauge, and I'm sure Coach Comlank knows exactly what he's got team-wise. It's hard to gauge them having played so few games. But it certainly it's a surprise. But it's it's also something like, oh, okay, he's laying down, saying to his kids, we can beat anybody out there. So, and what's funny is seeds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all went in the other bracket. They didn't want any part of, and rightly so, of McDonald and Kennedy.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, Heartland Christian was doing a dance because they're now the top dogs in the other bracket. And Anthony and I spoke a little bit about this. Anthony Hardwig, who does the show with me Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we were sitting back and wondering if this is one of those situations where Coach Comlank and the staff said, I'd much rather play these guys early in the tournament, being a district championship game, 2 or 3 games in, rather than take a chance in playing these guys 4 or 5 games into the tournament.
Well, I don't know how much difference that makes, but it's sort of I don't want to say a shame. What's going to happen is one of those teams is guaranteed not to make it to the regional. Either McDonald or Kennedy, and they probably both deserve to be there. But by the same token, it opens up a possibility for all those other teams that on the other side of on the other bracket. I don't know how much difference that is between the third game and or the fourth or fifth game. The location will be the thing is they'll have to play if they continue to do the home game at the better seated site, they'll have to play at McDonald rather than a neutral site in the regional. But it's we'll see how it works out. It's certainly a challenge. They're throwing down the challenge that says we think we can beat anybody, so we're going to take them on.
About 20 minutes or so ago, I started making the comment that the business of sports has now infiltrated down into the high school level. And what I mean by that, plain and simple, you and I are of the same age range where we both remember there was a time where sectional and district tournaments were held in one place. About 5 or 6 years ago, the OHSAA slowly started taking that away to say, well, we're not going to do sectional tournaments anymore in this particular place. We'll still hold the districts in this place, but the sectional tournaments, we're going to let the team with the better seed have home court. And now this year, and I got a feeling that this is going to be permanent. I have a feeling that the OHS will make this permanent. I've been hearing whispers of it anyway, that now you're going to combine the two districts into one supersized district, and you no longer have a neutral site for the district semifinals and finals. And if you look at it, the OHSAA is saving money by not renting out the Fieldhouse or Harding High School or Boardman or some of the other places that hold district tournaments or that have held district tournaments in the past. And it's a money-saving kind of a thing. Is that good for business, or do you think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at this and say, I like this?
I don't think any of that has anything to do with the decision. First of all the district events, sectional and district, are run by the Northeast District Athletic Board and NEDAP. And in fact, in parts of Ohio, in the northwest part of Ohio and the southeast, they still have sectionals at one site, and then the winners from the sectional bracket winners at the sectional go to another site for a district. There's so many smaller schools there and spread out, so they do it that way. So that still exists in other parts of the state. This idea of the super districts started in the Columbus and Cincinnati areas because they've got a whole bunch of schools, especially the big schools, within a pretty close geographic area. So they, instead of designating geographic districts, they let 3 or 4 districts. They combine 3 or 4 districts and then seed it all the way through, and you can jump into whichever district bracket you want, which is the way they're doing it now in Northeast District. So I think it's a NEDAP thing, not an OHSAA thing, and I think the reason they did it, just like they did it in the fall, was because of COVID. They didn't want everybody gathering in one place. When you have 10 district games, and they're all at one site, two on each night, that risks more exposure to other people, as opposed to having them at separate sites and restricting the number of people that are allowed in. So I don't think it has anything to do with money. I just think it has to do with the COVID, the pandemic, and I don't mind it. And the thing too is, remember, in Division I, in the boys and the girls in Northeast District, there are 6 districts actually, and they've taken the eastern part of the district has 3, and the western part has 3. So besides the ones that Fitch and Boardman and Harding are in, they're in one big 3-district grouping, and then there's another 3-district grouping that includes the west side of Cleveland and Medina County and all those schools over there. The same is true in Division 2 and 3. There's 4 districts altogether in the Northeast District, and 2 of them are combined. They're called the East, and the 2 western ones are combined also. So I sort of like it. I think it's kind of neat that you've got more variety of matchups. You're going to see some first-round matchups, and even throughout the whole thing that you normally wouldn't see or you haven't seen in the past when the districts were designated by geographic location, because those were kind of static, the same 12 to 14 teams year after year after year in the same district vying for a regional berth. Whereas now it's, it can be spread out. It can be different teams in there. But I don't know. I think it's kind of different. I like that. To me, it doesn't matter how they do it, as long as they're determining who gets out to the regional, and that's that's in the end is what you want to do.
I mean, I understand, if it's a COVID thing, I completely understand that. I mean, there's some disadvantages as well. I mean, we gave this example. Badger in northern Trumbull County, they are going to be making a 1+ hour journey all the way down to Wellsville to take on Wellsville. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, Wellsville would be in the Struthers district. Badger would be in the Grand Valley district. The two districts combined for one. That's a heck of a journey for Badger to make. And there's a couple of other examples in our area. And I understand it if it's a 1-year thing. I get that. Do you get the sense, Doug, that once we get COVID under control, once everyone is given that vaccine 2 times over and we get COVID under control, do you anticipate the tournament to going back to where it was before, or do you think that this is something that in fact will become permanent?
I have no idea on that. I mean, I don't know how the district board members are thinking about that, and who knows how long it'll be before we get it under control. And plus, Badger made the choice. I mean, they could have put themselves in another spot in the bracket. I mean, that's another part about this is they've gone back to the coaches having a choice of where to place themselves. For a couple of years there, they just did it by seed, and you were placed where you were placed. And yeah, I mean that's what we've talked about all along here is when it was restricted by geography, you were told you're playing at this place or you're in this particular district and the teams are closer to you. And there was another district, like you said, the Struthers and the Grand Valley is an example. And the southern, Columbiana County schools and Mahoning played at Struthers. Well, you can't have both. You can't say, we want to all be in the same place, but we want to have variety of choosing who we want to play. So, I don't know what's going to happen, whether it's they stay with it or not. Yes, there are going to be some travel things, and that's part of the coach's decision when they place themselves. If they aren't a good seed, if they don't have a good seed, they've got to look at all the spots that they could place themselves on there, and determine by do we want to play somebody that we think we can beat, although it's a long drive, or do we want to play somebody that's a short drive, even though we might get beat? All kinds of things go into that decision. And to answer your question, I have no idea what's going to happen. And I don't think we have any idea when we're getting out of this pandemic either.
Doug Chapin joining me. He is the Vindicator and Tribune Chronicle sports editor. Joins me every Tuesday at this time on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. You've had an opportunity to look at the tournament brackets. Is there any team that sticks out in your mind as a team that got a really favorable draw, boosting their chances to make a deep tournament run?
We talking about boys here?
Yeah.
I think Boardman has a better chance than being a 9 seed. They would have to beat the 8 seed to reach the district final. Now they face McKinley, Cam McKinley, but and here's the thing too. I say this: if things go as expected according to the seeds, Boardman would play Hoover in the second round, and then they would probably play University School in the district semi. So that's one of those things where I haven't heard or read anything about either of those two teams being really, really strong, but considering the competition both of those play, it isn't impossible that they would beat Boardman. But it's also the other way. Boardman could beat both of those, I would think, and could get out to the district final, and that, especially at Division I, is a legitimate goal for area teams, I think. Looking at some of the other brackets, as we expected, Struthers has a pretty clean look. The top seeds, for the most part, have pretty decent, I guess, pathways, if you will, on out at least to the district final. And certainly, you're going to play somebody good there in the district final anyway. But Struthers' path looks good. You got Ursuline and Canfield in the same sectional bracket, and the winner of that would probably face Perry, so they got a chance. And then they get Struthers. Let me see who else is seems to be set up. That Division IV bracket opposite Kennedy and McDonald has all kinds of potential teams who might have thought going into the draw that, I don't know if we're going to have a chance to get to regional. Now suddenly have a thought of teams like Noel Hartman, for one, and Bristol, who just played Kennedy the other night. Lowellville now has a look at, hey, we got a chance to get out to the regional. They've been playing well, and Wellsville's in that same thing. So there's one where a team that probably going in said, we don't have it. Our chances are really slim to get to the regional because McDonald will probably be in this bracket and Kennedy will be in the other one. Now that they're in the same bracket, now those other teams, can look at it and say, hey, we have a chance. Why not us?
How surprised are you that Harding was the 32nd seed in Division I?
Well, I mean, they have not played well. They've been really hit hard by the COVID and then starting to stop and that kind of stuff. It happens when you don't have the success. That's the way the voting goes sometimes. And the other thing too is, I think the three, or is it four now? No, there's four in girls. But the Fitch, Harding, Boardman, because it's just three schools way over here, tucked away from everybody else in Division I, it's difficult for them to get voting support because a lot of the schools don't see them as much as they, do each other. And, you get the Federal League teams all know each other, and the Akron area teams know each other, and Cleveland area teams know each other. So it's they know that they're good, but those three, Fitch, Boardman, and Harding, are so far away from everybody. It's I think they don't, even when they are really good, like the Boardman team is pretty good this year. They don't get the voting support that they might, if they were playing in a league with those other teams or something like that.
Doug Chapin, the Tribune Chronicle and Vindicator sports editor, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline. We don't talk very much about bowling, but 5 area girls bowling teams advanced yesterday into the district tournament. Hubbard, Liberty, Girard, and Struthers advanced into the Mahoning-Trumbull sectional. Champion was in the Trumbull-Lake County sectional. They moved on as well. The district tournament's going to be February the 20th up in Lorain. Man, I'll tell you what, Hubbard did an unbelievable job in the sectional tournaments. They won convincingly as a team, and Champion won theirs convincingly as a team. Do either of these teams have a legitimate chance to go to the state tournament this year?
Well, every year we have teams that go to the state tournament, and yeah, they do again. Our area teams have dominated bowling in the sectional levels, for the last few years, and almost every year we have at least one or two teams that make it to state. Now the boys rolled Monday, and we didn't get the results in time to get it in the paper. We'll have that in tomorrow's paper. It is pretty good bowling around here. The Division I schools go next week with their sectional, and then the districts are the same weekend as Division II. And again, we've always had teams get down there. And then when you get down there, it's a little bit different of a format. You've got to there's 16 teams, and they have qualifying rounds, both individual rollers, and then I think they do the Baker games, and then the top 8 schools at state then play in a tournament. It's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, et cetera, and they to determine the champion. So you've got to first, when you get down there, you got to first qualify for the final 8, and then you go head to head. So it's I think I was just thinking the other night that I think making bowling a high school sport in Ohio so far has been a home run, in that it's given kids who might not have participated in a high school sport, that maybe aren't the same athletic, they don't never play basketball or whatever, or any of the other winter sports. It's given them something, they can, be a letter winner and an athlete, and the same way other sports are. So I think it's been a great thing for Ohio high schools and especially the kids that take part.
Well, not only has bowling on the high school level been a home run, bowling on the college level with Youngstown State and the women's bowling team, my goodness, in 2 years they became a top 25 team across the country. And let's be honest, Doug, this area has a lot of great bowlers. It goes together like peanut butter and jelly. You will not have to leave this area if you want to be on a bowling scholarship, because the Youngstown State women now have a bowling program. If you're good enough, you'll get a scholarship over there.
Yeah, and I mean they're good enough too that they're not just recruiting the area. They're going out and getting the other areas too, or athletes from other areas too. And the same is true with the track and field and cross country program over there. They've been dominating the Horizon League, and they're getting recruits from all over the place who understand that they're going to get good training and they're going to get a chance to compete, at a high level with all the kids who run at the nationals, in either indoor or outdoor. And certainly that again comes down to there's a really good base of cross country and track and field coaching in this area for whatever reason, and there's a lot of kids that do well from here. That and in fact, the Chad Zallo and Harden from Girard, which is I can't remember his name, but he in the hurdles he was I think he made nationals last year too. So a lot of kids from around here can run at YSU and bowl at YSU, whichever, and they've got a chance to compete at a high level in college too.
Speaking of Youngstown State, before we let you go, Darius Quisenberry comes back. Penguins are on a 3-game winning streak. Coincidence? I don't think so.
No, certainly not. I mean, that's the thing. Coach Calhoun was talking about. In a lot of the losses, they came down to one possession down the stretch, and you need that veteran guy who's going to take it on his shoulders and make a play. And having him back really makes they got 4 games left in the regular season. Win 3-4 of them. If they win all 4 of them, then we'll see where that puts them seed wise in the tournament. But they're even more important than that. I think win or lose is how they are playing when they actually go into the tournament, and they'll get 4 games worth, a couple weeks of practices, and 4 games worth to get Quisenberry back to a high, his usual high level, and we'll see what they do in the tournament.
Well, they honored a lot of guys yesterday. They honored Jameer Thomas, Christian Bentley, Michael Akuche, Garrett Covington, Naz Bohannon. They're the seniors. Darius Quisenberry, Jeff Hampurian, and their student manager, Nicholas Gaynor. All of these guys are going to be graduating And I mean, it's interesting at the end of Robert Hayes' column, or at the end of his story, it's interesting how Coach Calhoun said, well, we don't know if any of these guys are going to be coming back. And, that's part of all of this trade-off of you get an opportunity to have a mulligan this year, but you don't necessarily have to stay in this particular place at the end of this year. I'm going to be curious to see how many of these guys do, in fact, come back next year when, knock on wood, we're putting COVID in the rearview mirror.
Now, this is because of the COVID, they've granted the additional year of eligibility to athletes.
Everyone's been given an extra year of eligibility.
Well, we will actually see how that plays out with the spring sports, because they did the same thing last year with spring sports. So now with baseball and softball and track and field, you got a chance to look and see, well, how many kids did come back that, normally wouldn't have been eligible for another year but decided to keep playing. It's a decision a kid has to make, if they've graduated and they're, looking ahead to a job and getting out and get their career started. That's a tough decision to make. Do you hang around and just to play a sport, or do you start into what your career is going to be in real life? So yeah, it should be interesting to see. And it makes for, I would imagine, it makes for a lot of flexibility in the recruiting process. You start recruiting somebody, and then you find out that the person you already have is coming back. What do you do then? Do you stop recruiting that particular individual, or what? So it will, and then we'll see it again in football too, in the fall, whether or not some of these people come back to play again or not. So yeah, the pandemic is certainly, aside from the fact that thousands and thousands of people have died from it, it's made chaos in either a lot of small parts of our lives.
Yeah, and parts of our lives that, we really shouldn't be prioritizing, right, but we do for whatever reason. I guess that's an editorial comment in and of itself. Doug, always a pleasure, sir. Look forward to catching up with you next week.
All right, take care.
You got it. Doug Chapin, the Tribune Chronicle and Vindicator sports editor, joining me as always on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. I can tell you right now, with baseball, most, if not all, of last year's seniors have decided to come back and play for the YSU baseball team, and we'll get that. I believe Dan Bertolini said that last week, that all of the seniors from last year's team decided to all come back and play for YSU in the 2020 baseball season. So hopefully, knock on wood, we have a full college baseball season and not the 14-game season before COVID shut everything down last year. Of course, last year, I think everyone knows by now, we didn't even have spring sports in high school. We didn't have baseball or track and field or softball or any of the spring sports. So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be able to have a full year without any problems and go from there. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It is a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Several strong bands of lake effect snow.
Wind is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. Again, the big news of the day, Tom Pavlansky has accepted the new head football job at Poland. So Tom Pavlansky goes from one Bulldog community in Lakeview to another Bulldog community in Poland, leaving the Lakeview job open. Now, I like to play the game connect the dots. And if hopefully this were to happen, but there was supposed to be a guy with head coaching experience on the Lakeview coaching staff when Tom Pavlansky was still the head football coach at Lakeview. He had brought on Chet Allen to be the defensive coordinator for the Lakeview Bulldogs. I'd love to see Chet be the head football coach at Lakeview. I'm just saying. I think it would be a great fit, and I think it would be a fantastic hire for Lakeview. And they wouldn't have to go outside the family because, like I said, you have someone who has previous head coaching experience, and he's in the Lakeview family. You wouldn't have to go outside the family and leave a school district in the lurch this late in the season. I mean, keep in mind. I mean, even though it's February and the season starts in August, it's kind of a late thing. Normally, you have your coaching positions all filled up by the end of the year, the end of the calendar year. Normally, you have the positions filled out. I mean, at the very latest, like in early January, when your lifting program is already well underway and your off-season conditioning program is well underway and you have your pieces in place, the whole 9 yards. I mean, normally by the end of the school year, or by the end of the calendar year, everyone is pretty much where they're supposed to be in terms of head coaches. This one's a little late. And again, kudos to Poland for bringing home a Poland native in Tom Pawlanski. And I haven't spoken with Coach Pawlanski, but I'm not dumb, and I don't think any of us are blind to the fact that Tom Pawlanski grew up in Poland. This is a family decision. There's an awful lot to do with family. I don't think there's any question about that. That this has an awful lot to do with family, and I think it's a fantastic hire for Poland. I've said this on more than one occasion. Tom Pawlanski, one of the things I absolutely love about Coach Pawlanski is in the years in which I was doing Trumbull County football, when I was working in terrestrial radio, and we would be doing a game of the week from Trumbull County and the league that Lakeview was in. One of the things I really liked about Coach Pawlanski, whenever we had Lakeview on the air, the second half, the halftime adjustments that he and his coaching staff made, they were some really, really good adjustments. He was one of those guys that just coached on the fly, and in the second half, when you saw what was going on in the first half, the adjustments that he and his coaching staff made were some of the best that we'd seen in that area. And I think Tom Pawlanski will be a solid hire for Poland. And I think it's strange that he's going to go from one team in the same conference to another team in the same conference. And as I mentioned, I'll be curious to see what the blowback is. What is the blowback going to be? Because, Coach Pawlanski is going to be go into Cortland once every 2 years. He'll be playing his former team every single year in football. He'll be playing his team every single year. And once every 2 years, he'll make a trip to Cortland. And he'll be coaching a game in the ground in which he walked on the other side of the field. So I think it's going to be interesting. It'll be an interesting few years. But, the Pawlanski name is a very big name in Poland. And, I think this is a great decision for Tom and his family. There's no secret. His son is going to graduate from Lakeview this year. I think that had an awful lot to do with it as well. The fact that his son will graduate from Lakeview is his family is still very much a part of the Poland community, and that name is synonymous with greatness in the village of Poland. And not to mention the fact that his brother coaches at Canfield. And I think that this will put a a spark. Not that there was ever needing a spark, but the Canfield-Poland rivalry is going to get an interesting flavor. A couple of brothers doing battle. I mean, this is going to be fun. But as I look at where Lakeview is going to go, I'll say it right now, not because Chet's a friend, but because he's a damn good coach. I'd love to see Chet Allen become the new head football coach at Lakeview, and I think it would make perfect sense if he were the head football coach at Lakeview. But that's speculation, and we certainly don't want to speculate. And obviously, the news breaks today that Tom Pavlansky has taken the job at Poland, so clearly Lakeview will do their due diligence. But it's not that they don't have a former head coach on their staff. They do. It's we'll see what they do. We'll see what Lakeview does. But Tom Pavlansky is the new head football coach at Poland. And, I think it's a family decision. And I think it's a fantastic decision by Poland. I think this is going to be interesting. Not to mention the fact that, Tom Pavlansky is a guy that through the years, he has been known to let his quarterback air it out. And that's something that through the years we've not seen very much of in Poland. So this will be interesting. This is an interesting hire, and I think has the potential to be a really good hire at Poland. Again, keep in mind this is a program that through the years, and I'm not saying that it hasn't been a detriment. I don't think it has. Poland has been an outstanding football team year after year after year, but they've also done a lot more running the football than passing the football. I think that you're going to see in your new coach, in Tom Pavlansky, this is a team that won't be afraid to throw the ball and will probably throw the ball a whole lot more often than what the folks at Poland have been accustomed to seeing in the last decade or so. So this will be a different kind of football for sure. And we'll see. We'll see what this brings to Poland. I mean, keep in mind, the last time a public school in the Mahoning Valley won a state championship, you go back to Poland High School. 1999, Paul Hulia, who was the coach at Poland. He's now the coach at Litonia. But Paul Hulia was the head coach of the Poland Bulldogs. That's the last time a public school has won a state championship in high school football. It's been a while. We'll see. We'll see what this brings for Poland. And, they're Division IV. This is a program that does not have open enrollment. This is a program that simply put, they go by the kids that are enrolled in the village of Poland. They are one of a handful of teams in the Mahoning Valley that don't believe in open enrollment. So it's an interesting job in that you will not see anybody coming outside of the Poland school district, or at least in theory, you won't see anybody coming outside the Poland school district. Because it's a closed enrollment where, again, in theory, kids that only the kids from Poland are to be going to school at Poland. So that's another part of this that's going to be interesting. And again, they're one of a handful of schools that do not have an open enrollment policy. That's another thing that will make this a very interesting hire with Tom Pavlansky, because Lakeview was open enrollment. So does it make much of a difference? I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a great hire for Poland. I think you're getting the name that everyone knows. Tom's father is, he. Hey, the Pavlansky name is golden in the village of Poland. It just is. And I'll be real curious to see if Tom Pavlansky continues to follow along and follow along with greatness in his father's footsteps, like his brother in Canfield. Both of these, the one thing that I'm going to be really excited about is it brings a completely different part of this rivalry. To now you have the Pavlansky boys, one coaching Poland, one coaching Canfield, and they're great rivals. And it was always special when Coach Pavlansky in Canfield brought his team into Poland. Now multiply that by about 1 million, and you'll get that even more special feeling when the Pavlansky brothers are coaching against each other in the Battle of Route 224. And hopefully we will continue to see Canfield and Poland on the schedule. Hopefully that is something that happens. But I think it's a great hire. I think it's a fantastic hire for Poland. I'll be very curious to see which direction Lakeview goes to. Again, it's not like they don't have somebody on staff who has been a head football coach in the Mahoning Valley before. They do. And I'll be curious to see if they turn to who was supposed to be the defensive coordinator with Tom Pavlansky. I'll be curious to see if they turn to Chet Allen and allow Chet Allen to be the head coach at Lakeview. Be interesting. A lot of things to still work out, and obviously with the news breaking today, Lakeview is going to be doing their due diligence. But this is an interesting hire, Tom Pavlansky to Poland, where he will be taking over a program that his father was a very big part of at Poland High School. This is it's going to be interesting to say the least. 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. We will let you know that at the top of the hour, we will hear from the baseball coach, the manager, the head baseball coach, however you want to put him. Dan Bertolini will be joining me, as he does every Tuesday during baseball season at 2 o'clock. Now, I'm sure people are looking at me and saying, Ron, it's snow on the ground. This isn't baseball season. Well, au contraire, mon frere. Next Friday, 1 week from Friday, Youngstown State opens up their baseball season. So it is, in fact, baseball season. Even though I mentioned this in the first hour, I'm not excited for baseball. I don't understand why. We're a week out from pitchers and catchers reporting, which is the greatest 4 words. If you're a baseball fan, it's the greatest 4 words you'll ever hear, other than your team, and I'll say Indians win the pennant. Indians win the World Series, which is 5 words. But pitchers and catchers report after a long winter. Those are the 4 best words to hear as a baseball fan. And yet here I am 1 week out from pitchers and catchers reporting, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not too excited. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm going to be doing college football, and football season really isn't over if you're a Penguins fan. I don't know. All I know is it's weird that I'm not excited for baseball season. But I know Dan Bertolini is going to be excited as we will get him on at 2 o'clock, and we'll talk some baseball with the manager of the YSU baseball program, Dan Bertolini. And again, 1 week from Friday, the YSU baseball season opens up. We'll have the Penguins down in Troy, Alabama, which is southeast of Montgomery and due east, I think northeast of Mobile. That's where Troy is. And it's about an hour away from the Alabama-Florida line. So it's down there. It's down in the southern part of the state for sure. But next Friday, the Penguins will open up a 4-gamer with Troy. Single game on Friday, doubleheader on Saturday, and a single game on Sunday. And then the next week, the Penguins will be in Louisiana. They'll be in Thibodaux and Baton Rouge. Now, Thibodaux is an hour south of Baton Rouge, over near New Orleans. And they will play Nicholls State on Friday afternoon, I believe at 1 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. And then after the game is over, Penguins will get on a bus. They'll journey an hour north to Baton Rouge, and they will play LSU on Friday evening in Baton Rouge. They'll go back to, they'll go back to Thibodaux, get some sleep. And then on Saturday morning, they'll get on the bus. They'll head to Baton Rouge, play an afternoon game. I think it's like a 3 o'clock in the afternoon game against LSU. They'll go back to Thibodaux, spend Saturday night in Thibodaux, and then Sunday they'll play Nicholls State in their facility in Thibodaux and then come back to Youngstown. So the Penguins are going to spend 2 weekends deep in the South. Alabama in about 10 days. Yeah, 10 days from now, they'll be in Alabama. And then the next weekend, they'll be in Louisiana. So hopefully Cajun food will be eaten during the Louisiana trip. And some good old catfish and corn muffin and all kinds of other stuff that I devoured when I was in the South. Because it's all about the food, kids. And down south, let's just say you're not going to get good pizza down south, which we're used to around here. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our pizza is better than anybody's pizza in America. And I'll stand on that mountain and fight to the death on that mountain because we get some damn good pizza here. But our barbecue, nowhere near in comparison to the South. Our seafood, nowhere near in comparison to the South. So, when you get down there in Alabama and Louisiana, oh, yeah. The food is different. The weather is certainly better. But it's baseball, and that's a beautiful thing. All right, we'll take a timeout. Dan Bertolini coming up next. We'll talk some Penguins baseball. That's all coming up after this timeout. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Before you make that commitment to purchase a brand new or slightly used automobile, you need to check out the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSWealthAdvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. The YSU baseball team starts up their season in 10 days. They'll make a trip to Troy, Alabama, south and east of Montgomery, a little north and east of Mobile. And joining me to talk about the upcoming season is the manager, the head baseball coach, whatever you want to call him, Dan Bertolini, joining me on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Dan, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, Ron. How's it going?
I can't complain, and I'm sure for you, in 10 days you get out of the snow for a weekend of fun and hopefully warm sun in the southern part of the great state of Alabama, as you guys open up the season against a team from the Sun Belt in Troy, down in Troy, Alabama.
Yeah, we're excited to open up the season. Our guys have been waiting a long time for it. Got to have a good week of practice, but looking forward to
Coach, you there? Wow. Okay. That was weird. Oh, Lordy. You just got to love live radio. Coach, are you there, sir?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened.
All right, continue, sir. So your team is preparing, and you've had a full week of practice. That's when you got cut off.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this week of practice. Had a good weekend last weekend with some inter squads, and looking forward to getting down to Troy and getting outside and playing somebody else for a change. We've been playing each other now for 6 months, 7 months, and looking forward to getting against some outside competition and see what we're made out of.
Coach, you talk about the inter-squad games, and you guys have had a number of inter-squad games. Tell everyone what goes into these inter-squad games. How do you guys play this? And just give some details on what goes into these inter-squad games, Skip.
Well, typically we break our guys up into two teams. We're inside the walk. We set up the field the best we can, so it gives us the best look. And we'll play. It just depends. Most of our pitchers are on a pitch count, so they might throw, depending, like this week they'll be at over 100 pitches. Our starting pitchers, our relievers, will kind of make it more realistic game-like. We try to set it up so some of our back-end relievers can throw twice in a weekend. And then, guys, we just play as much as possible. Sometimes we'll set up some situations. We'll put runners on base and put certain pitchers are on. It's tough sometimes to judge whether it's a hit or whether it's an out, but we do our best just to hit the ball hard. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt if you don't. Sometimes we don't. But I know Coach Davis likes to take away all the hits from our hitters, but that's all right. We'll find out here in the next couple weeks. But
hang on a second. He believes in good defense. I mean, that's I'm kind of siding with Coach Davis on this because he believes in Gold Glove defense all the way around.
Well, I'll just tell you, if it's in the air, if it hits anywhere in the air, you're basically out. Our outfielders are the most incredible outfielders, and they're very good outfielders. But sometimes I think, if they hit a good one, it's like, well, they were playing in this guy or they were playing back. But no, I mean, it's good. Our guys, we can judge. We just rate their quality at bats and see how they're hitting. See, if they're be able to, make good contact, see the ball, seeing pitches and counts, and being able to move guys. We've been able to work on some of our offensive stuff that we were trying to put in. So it's been good. We're going to get some guys back this week. We've had, different players here and there having to, take some time off or whatever with quarantining and everything. So hopefully we'll have everyone back and ready to go, and looking forward to a great week of practice.
I loved the situational hitting part of going into the cage. A lot of people, especially when you go to a major league game, and and you're there before the game starts, and the sluggers are putting on the show by, having their corked bat, which I feel like I'm peeling the curtain. Yes, these guys have corked bats that they use during BP, and they'll hit a ball 500 plus feet because that's what everyone loves to see. But there is a part of BP where you are working on your game and the situational hitting. I absolutely love it, where the hitting coach will scream out an instruction, say runner at second, 1 out, and the code is hit the ball to the right side of the infield or hit the ball into right field for a base hit. But you're trying to move that runner from second to third base, and I always like the situational hitting part of batting practice.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that we focus on and work on every day. Just putting our guys in those tough situations and being able to execute, because that's really going to be the difference between winning and losing. A lot of times, the team that can score or move guys with runners in scoring position is the team that wins. It doesn't even matter how many hits you have in the game. It matters, what you do with the hits when you have them. So, trying to get and you don't even need hits sometimes to score runs. If you can get a guy on third with less than 2 outs and hit a ground ball and score that run, we're able to do that early in the count. We're able to get a good pitch to hit, and with nobody out, and kind of move that guy from whether it's a base hit, whether it's a ground ball, whether it's a deep fly ball, move that guy from second to third and get a guy to third base with less than with 1 out. It's important. So, I think it's a total buy-in from our offense of understanding that it's not my batting average, it's my production. The OPS plus, and being able to get guys. Score runs, RBIs, runs scored. That's how you win. You got to score more runs than the other team, not out hit them or have a better batting average. At the end of the day, you got to score more runs. So that's what we're focused on doing.
Well, putting the ball in play is object number one, and it's one of the things that I'm starting to become more and more frustrated with in the game of baseball that is played today, especially in the major league level. Strikeouts are somewhat acceptable now. Oh, yeah, that's okay. You're no big deal. No, baloney, that's not acceptable, because you didn't move the runners over. You didn't even put the ball in play. For me, I don't want my guys to strike out. I want my ball to be put in play, especially on the college level where the errors are more frequent than on the pro level.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on for days about, what's going on the professional level. But for us, we put a premium on balls in play, and being able to not just balls in play, but balls in play that are hit hard. And it could be, we're probably, and I think you'll see things change at the major league level even, but hitting and running, slashing, bunting, doing those type things. We have a very active team. We have a very athletic lineup, and a lot of guys from top to bottom that can run. So being able to put balls in play and be able to create some action, steal bases, hit and run, it allows us to open some things up, and hopefully, like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many hits or how many, it just matters how many runs. So trying to find ways to manufacture and score runs. I mean, if we can get guys that hit 3-run homers all the time, I'd be pretty excited. But it doesn't even happen in Major League Baseball. So those guys are paid to do. That whole system started by them paying guys to hit home runs and drive guys in. It has nothing to do with the game of baseball. So they've tailored the game. They've priced themselves into that, and until they decide that they want to change kind of that model, they want to pay guys to move runners, and runs scored are down compared to in Major League Baseball compared to 10, 15 years ago, because they just rely on home runs too much. So that's my personal take on that.
Dan, when you start recruiting in under normal circumstances, and it's been anything but normal the last year and change, but under normal circumstances, when you're recruiting an everyday player, the non-pitcher, are you looking for someone that has the ability to get on base, whether it's by fouling a bunch of pitches off and coaxing a walk, or bunting the ball and getting an infield single using some great speed, or getting the ball on the barrel of the bat and getting the base hit or getting the extra base hit. Is it the athletic portion and the ability to put the bat on the ball that attracts you the most for the everyday player?
Yeah, I mean, I think swings and misses, a lot of swings and misses are a red flag. And I would say definitely at the professional level, when they come watch our guys play, and I know, at the major league level, strikeouts or whatever, if you can hit for power, but they're still watching. They realize that if you're swinging and missing in college, and you got a lot of swings and misses, that it's only going to get worse when you get into professional baseball. So I'd say the same goes for us. If you're swinging and missing a lot in high school, it's probably only going to get worse when you get here, because the pitching is going to get, tougher and the situations are harder and everything. So, we're looking for guys. I mean, this is, our personal philosophy is we want guys that are athletic, that can move the ball. If you can bunt and you can use that as a weapon, it's probably the most uncomfortable you ever feel as a pitcher or as a defense, especially as a coach. When there's a guy that can really bunt and move the ball around, or a team that can really do it. It's hard. It just, puts a lot of pressure on you. So if you can do that and you can use it as a weapon, we can't have a full team of guys that they just bunt all the time. But there's definitely sprinkled in there guys that can do it, and we focus on it all the time. So putting the ball in play is important. I hate strikeouts. So the more that our guys can put the ball in play, the happier I am.
Well, and the other part of that is making that starting pitcher work. Making sure that the starting pitcher doesn't retire you on 1 to 3 pitches, where that starting pitcher is going to have to go deep in the count because you have the knowledge of the strike zone and you're not going to be swinging at pitches above your hands.
Yeah, I mean, we put a premium on, we want our guys to be aggressive. You want guys that can ambush some fastballs and hit balls early in the count, because it could be, we're always ready to hit the fastball. If it's the best, it might be the best pitch you see, it might be pitch one, but we also want to have an understanding of the strike zone and be able to work counts and get pitches in our favor and, drive pitch counts up. Like, I think it was even against Mississippi State, what was that? I can't remember how many years ago that was, but we played Ethan Small, who was SEC Pitcher of the Year. We were able to get him out in like the 4th inning, just by driving pitch counts, fouling balls off, taking borderline pitches, not swinging at pitches out of the zone. Plate discipline is extremely important. Even last year, we played Lyle Lockhart from Houston opening weekend, and we were able to get him out in the 5th inning. And that was kind of the MO for our whole guys. We barely had any starters that made it past the 5th inning, because we're going to draw walks. We're going to be disciplined at the plate. But if you give us a good pitch to hit, we'll be able to put a good barrel on it. And so that's really, Eric Smith does a great job with our hitters of really focusing on that and trying to be disciplined at the plate.
Dan Bertolini, he is the manager of the YSU baseball team. YSU baseball team opens up the 2021 season 10 days from today. They'll make a trip to Troy, Alabama, southeast of Montgomery, northeast of Mobile, very close to the Alabama-Florida line. You'll have a 4-gamer with Troy, single game on Friday, doubleheader on Saturday, and a single game on Sunday, and that's next weekend. The Penguins will be in Troy, Alabama. Skip, you made mention early in our conversation that you're playing an awful lot of inter-squad games, and that the starting pitchers they're on the mound. What kind of a pitch count do you have with your starting pitchers right now, Skip?
Probably, I think last week our starters, anyone that's sort of a starter type, so there's probably 6, maybe 7 guys that are kind of on that. They were about 80 pitches last week. They'll be at probably 110 this week. We'll overtrain them a little bit. We just want, the juices are a little bit different in game day. The adrenaline, it's a little bit, takes a lot more out of you when you're actually playing another team on a Friday night or Saturday or whatever than it is in our inter squads. As much as we try to replicate game reps, it's just not quite the same. So we train them a little bit over. They'll probably be at 110, 115 in our inner squad, and then Opening weekend, they'd probably be in that 80, 85 pitch mark, depending on how they're going. Pitch count is such a tough thing because if they're stress-free pitches and you don't have a lot of traffic and, you haven't really had to, bear down and really execute at a high level with runners in scoring position, 80 or 90 pitches is a lot easier. When you're in the fifth inning and you've had guys on base every inning and you've had to pitch out of it, you've had to really focus, and it takes a lot more out of you. So just depending on how that goes would kind of be depending on, where we're at. But, we're not going to throw guys, over 100 pitches for sure, and probably somewhere in the 80s opening weekend until we start to get into conference play.
I'm looking at the weather forecast as we speak, and the temperature is going to be hovering in the at 60 or the low 60s for that weekend. Now, I don't trust any weather forecast till about 2 days before but 2 days before the event. But hey, look, if it's at 60 or in the low 60s for a daytime high, that's good baseball weather.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, shoot, when it's 35 degrees out, our guys are ready to go outside in shorts and T-shirts. So we're ready. 60 degrees will be nice. It'll be good temperature, not too hot. Our guys won't be, overheating or anything. We'll be able to, feel pretty good about it, and they're ready to go. We're chomping at the bit to get out there and start playing some games.
What is the one thing that you have noticed at this point right now that you guys are doing better than at this point last year?
Ooh, boy, that's a good question. I think overall, just the competitiveness of everything that's been going on, I think has been really, really sharp. I think it's been, we've been missing a few guys here and there, so it makes it difficult. But I thought the defense has been very good. We've played great defense, and I do think just the competitiveness in every inter squad. It's a dogfight every single pitch, every single at bat, both sides, pitchers and hitters. And I think that focus and that intensity is only going to help us when we get to opening weekend and beyond into conference play and late in the season. So I think that's been really, really sharp. And I think our starting pitching, we've had probably two straight inter squads on Friday, where we didn't walk a batter. So that's huge, and we've had umpires and everything. So it's been huge for us to be able to throw strikes and stay in the zone.
Dan, we talked about this last week. You have a roster full of players. Now, unfortunately, when you're going on the road, you're not allowed to have all of those players join you. So this becomes an interesting an interesting scenario in that a number of kids are going to be left home next Friday when the Penguins open up the 2021 baseball season in Troy, Alabama. Do you have an idea where your roster is and who is going to be making this trip to Troy, Alabama?
Boy, that's a great question, Ron. I have an idea, but I don't know exactly. In this new world, we test our guys, every week, and so someone, becomes positive, then you have, contact tracing and a few guys that are affected by that, so you just don't know. But I feel with that aside, I feel really good with where we're at. I would say for the most part, I'd probably say 95% I have a really good feeling about, and there's probably, 2 or 3, really it comes down to some of the relievers from the pitching staff is really they've been fighting it out to see who can make it. And it's tough because we're going to have to leave a lot of quality good players at home, and it's unfortunate, but we've had these conversations early in the season and throughout the year, and our guys are pulling for each other no matter who's going and who isn't. So they understand that this is it's a different type of year, and they know what the end result can be for us, and we're focused on what the best results for our team can be. So it is challenging, though, because there are going to be players that can help us that are good players that would probably play in the game and will play in games at home that don't get an opportunity, at least the first week or two to get out there. So, but things are so fluid and changing that, like I said last week, we got to continue to rep like you are the guy, and even if you're not, and you never know when that's going to be your turn to play. I think it was 2 years ago. Dylan Schwarmer was a guy. He was a freshman. We weren't sure if we were even gonna play him. We were thinking about redshirting him, and we had talked to him about redshirting. And Caruso goes down opening weekend, and our other Tanner Montgomery had a shoulder issue, and there you go, Dylan, go catch the last 36 games of the year. So you just never know when it's going to be your opportunity.
You brought up something that obviously you know too much about, and that's the whole COVID situation. I mean, hell, the team was shut down after 14 games. I mean, look, we all sit back and say, hey, man, we're looking forward to baseball, but the reality is COVID is still very much a possibility and a probability before the end of this season. And it brings up an interesting point. You brought this up when you answered the question, the contact tracing. Let's be honest. If someone tests positive, the contact tracing. Let's say an infielder tests positive. A lot of guys on the, let's say it's a second baseman, the right side of the infield is now going to be at risk. Not to mention his double play partner. Now, maybe not the third baseman, but the first baseman and the shortstop are certainly going to be at risk. And that's a situation where now you got to be sitting back and go, crap, am I going to be dealing with my entire middle infielders and my entire first baseman possibly on the shelf just because one person at second base tested positive for COVID?
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. Our athletic training department does a great job, and the city, Youngstown, the state departments, they all come in and they'll contact trace. So it's you have to be within 6 feet of one of the people that tested positive for 15 or more minutes. So they'll go back and do their contact tracing. We're always masked, so that's one thing that definitely helps us. But yeah, I mean, it's affected us already. And when we travel, a lot of times you'll put guys, you'll room guys together, one guy that's already had COVID with the guy that hasn't. So that way, if there is some sort of issue, you don't lose the guy that's already, if you've already had it, you don't have to be tested within a certain time period. And you don't have to quarantine if you're around someone that's had it. So there's a bunch of rules that go into it. So it's not just coaching now. Now we have to do logistics of how we travel and who's traveling where and how spread out we have to be on the buses and how spread out we have to be, in the vans or whatever we're doing, trying to limit size of practices. And, there's a lot that's gone into it this year just so we can have a season. But we feel good with where we're at. I feel like and hopefully it looks like in the state of Ohio, the cases have really gone down. So, we're moving in that direction. By the end of the spring, I feel like a good amount of the population will be, vaccinated, especially the ones that need it. So we will hopefully have a smooth sailing spring. But there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why I continue to tell these guys. Our guys have done a great job, knock on wood, of keeping socially distant and not staying inside of our bubble as much as possible. But it's real, it's out there. And we just have to be very mindful of what's going on, because if it doesn't just affect you, it affects a lot of people. So we have to make sure that we're making the best choices and decisions that we can every week. Yeah,
one of the things that, when I was with you guys, the weekend we spent in Charleston, South Carolina, it wasn't a team bus where everyone went to the ballpark on one bus. We had vans. What is that situation going to be like this year? Is it going to be the same where you have 3 or 4 kids per van, or is it going to be less this year, Skip?
Yeah, we'll probably have 5 vans every trip. That way we can spread our guys out with 4 or 5 guys. Now, when we go That's really the first few weekends. But, in conference we'll have buses, and they're large enough where we can spread guys out and put guys around each other that have had COVID and haven't had COVID, so we can kind of mitigate some of those issues. But, yeah, there's a lot of logistical things you have to really think about. But we'll take vans the first. We'll take a bus to the, and we're all tested before we get on the buses, and so there's a lot of protocols that go in there. So really, it would just be if something happened between the time you get on the bus and the time you get home. The rest of that time we're tested, and we'll know, kind of going into it. But we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenges, all the crazy stuff that comes. The teams that are the most adaptive, and we're fortunate that we're deep. We have a lot of good players, so that helps. But it's going to be the teams that can adjust on the fly. We might be going to try to go play somebody, and they test positive and have to shut down, and we might be playing somebody else in another place, or they might be coming here. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen this season, and we just have to be flexible, open-minded, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's next Friday we're scheduled to play Troy. And knock on wood, hopefully we're able to play Troy. But let's say between now and next Friday, Troy has an outbreak or you guys have an outbreak. Now all of a sudden shut down. Or if Troy has an outbreak, now you guys are shut down and looking for a game. And who knows, you might be playing, instead of Alabama, you might be playing in Florida. I mean, it's just, I would not want to be a travel agent for the YSU baseball team right now.
Well, the thing is, all the programs have dealt with it. Our men's and women's basketball programs, football's dealt with it. The whole season got adjusted to the spring. And that's not just us. All across the country, every program in the country is dealing with this. We're all trying to make policies that do it the best, to give our kids the best opportunity to compete, the safest environment for our players to play in. So I think we've done a fantastic job to this point. You never really know what the best decision is. You have to just make one, and I think we've done a great job of making them and putting our guys in opportunities to go ahead and play. And they've provided us flexibility in the Horizon League to be able to go play anywhere you want. So if a game gets canceled, you can really do whatever you need to do to go play some games to give these guys opportunities, especially the spring sport athletes that lost the season last year, give them the opportunity to go play. So we're going to do our best to do our part, so it's not us that has an outbreak, but you just don't know. We'll be ready to play. If we want to go play in the parking lot, we'll figure it out. We'll go find a place to play.
Well, even though I'm not excited for Major League Baseball, I'm super excited for YSU baseball starting next Friday. And what excited me was when you sat back and said, hey, all the seniors that could have very easily said, hey, thanks a lot for the memories. We're going to start our business career or our career in whatever major they were in. Every single one of them is back, and that just speaks volumes to the excitement level that they have and the excitement level that everyone should have with this baseball team.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We're really. I feel blessed that I get an opportunity to get an extra year with these guys. They're not only great players, but they're great kids. They're great people. They're going to do great things when they leave here, whether it's in professional baseball or it's in their career. And we're going to heavily rely on them. They're guys in major positions, whether it's starting positionally or Colin Floyd, a weekend starter, or bullpen guys. They're going to play very integral parts. Gary and Joel are two major components of our bullpen. Joel's the all-time appearance leader, and Gary was our closer last year. Those two guys are extremely important. Nick Caruso is our starting catcher, has been our catcher for feels like forever at this point, but it's 4 years now. Colin Floyd's been a staple in our pitching staff. He's probably going to be the all-time strikeout leader and have a great career and hopefully have a great season this year. And Blaze Glenn. So you don't get much better than those guys, and we're happy to have those guys back and leading our program.
All right, before we let you go, I got to ask, is there a goal for this team this year in terms of where you want this team to be, a legitimate goal for the 2021 YSU Penguins?
Well, I think every year, my first and foremost goal is that our guys that our guys, play to their potential. Do everything that they in their possible, their preparation, everything. So we play great baseball day in and day out. I think as overall our expectations are never different. We want to win our Horizon League championship. We want to, we want to win an NCAA regional. We want to have an opportunity to potentially go to Omaha. And I think, I think all of our guys are on board. They didn't come back here to not see their goals fulfilled. So hopefully, we stay healthy and our guys do their part, and we'll have a really successful season.
Get into the field of 64. Now, YSU's done it 2 times previously, and the first time, it's an interesting formula. You get the top 16 seeds, and then they host 3 other teams, field of 64. YSU, the first time they went into the field of 64 tournament, double elimination tournament, they played 2 games, they lost them both. The second time Youngstown State went into the tournament, they played 3 games. They lost their first game, won their second game, and then were eliminated. If Youngstown State can get a couple of victories and possibly get into the tournament, get a couple of victories, play for a tournament championship, and I think we just lost Coach again. Dang it, we lost Coach again. Doggone it. Well, let's get Coach back on here. Coach, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in my office. It doesn't have. It's an old racquetball court.
That's all right. That's all right. I was going to say it's the 2 previous times Youngstown State went to the NCAA tournament. They were eliminated in 2 games, hadn't won a game. The second time they won a game, but they were eliminated in 3 games. If we can get into the field of 64 and get into the championship game where the winner goes to the super regionals, I think that would be a legitimate, absolute legitimate goal. Now, obviously, you get to that point, I'm going to be a greedy son of a gun, and I'm going to want you to win that, then win the super regionals, and then go to Omaha. But get to the point where you're the final 2 teams in your sub regional, and I'll be a happy camper, Skip.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to really focus on trying to win game number 1 versus Troy. We don't want to put the whatever they say, the horses in front of the cart. But we want to make sure that, ultimately, obviously, we're all here for a reason, and it's not just to play games. We're here to win, and we want to win at a national level, and hopefully, we can do that. But we got to really, I tell these guys every single day. It'll be in the group text every day. It'll be in before we take the field. We're 0-0 every single day, no matter what the record is, no matter what. What's in front of us, we're 0-0, and we're focused on, being where our feet are every day. So today is the most important day. We're going to go have a great practice here in about 15 minutes, and then we're going to focus on tomorrow, and then we'll continue to go and continue to build. And hopefully, if we can do that, then maybe we'll get to that point that you're talking about. But it's a long season, a lot of process to get there, and, we're just excited to start the journey here. Very soon. Is
there any outdoor practices scheduled prior to your trip to Troy?
At Troy will probably be the next time we get outside. We're going to practice at Troy on Thursday night, so that'll probably be the next time we get outside looking at this weather forecast. So, but who knows? You never know. If it warms up a little next week, maybe we can try to get outside.
Hey, well, we'll talk next week, Skip.
Sounds great.
You got it. Dan Bertolini, he is the manager, the man that runs the YSU baseball program. We'll hear from him next week at 2 o'clock. And, again, in 10 days, Penguins open up their baseball season. They'll take a trip to Troy, Alabama, southeast of Montgomery, northeast of Mobile, about an hour from the Alabama-Florida line. It's nice weather down there. Now again, we mentioned the forecast, highs in the low 60s, the 3 days that they're in Troy, Alabama. Now that's 2 weeks out. That could very well change. We'll see. All right, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Back in a bit.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years. I think whenever we go there, whatever car we're looking for, they have tremendous inventory.
If you're looking for people who care about you, Greenwood is the place to go.
You know, it's like family there. The girls know me in service. It's Miss Kim in the Tahoe.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Local teams are heating up the hardwoods, and you can keep up with all the action on and off the court with Five Guys Hoop News all season long on 21 Sports.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Let's take a look at what is on tap on the network for this afternoon and this evening. We start with bowling on the network. Yes, Austintown Fitch will be traveling to Boardman to take on the Spartans in bowling. Coverage begins at 3:45 this afternoon. Junior varsity basketball tonight from Edison High School. By the way, they're going to be closing that gym at the end of the school year. at the end of this basketball season. It'll be the last year they're playing basketball in this gymnasium. The Edison Wildcats will be hosting Union Local. 5:30 varsity-only matchup. Southern Local going to Wellsville. That's not that big of a journey. I think it's like 10 miles from Salineville to Wellsville. Southern and Wellsville will do battle in basketball. Varsity only tonight from Wellsville High School. The rest of these games start at 7 o'clock, meaning that junior varsity games get underway at 5:30. And actually, that Wellsville Southern game, that's a JV game. The JV game starts at 5:30. They will have the varsity game tonight. My apologies. All right, here is your varsity lineup for tonight in boys basketball. Howland will travel to Fitch. Cheney is at Boardman. Damn, that's going to be a good game. Harding is at Canfield. Another solid game tonight. Ursuline at East. United at East Palestine. Union Local at Edison. Columbiana at Jackson Milton. South Range will visit Lakeview. Valley Christian heading to Latonia. Crestview will travel to Liberty. Niles will welcome Hubbard. Sebring is at McDonald. Springfield at Mineral Ridge. Western Reserve journeys to Waterloo. And as we mentioned, Southern will be at Wellsville. Those games getting underway a little before 7, maybe a little after 7. It depends on the junior varsity game and how fast that junior varsity game goes. But those are the games set for this afternoon and this evening on the network. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Again, the big news of the day, Tom Pavlansky officially named head football coach of the Poland Bulldogs. So Pavlansky going from Lakeview to Poland. He'll stay in the Northeast 8. One would imagine this is going to be a family decision that Tom Pavlansky, the Pavlansky family, grew up in Poland. Obviously, this is a very, Pavlansky, the name Pavlansky is synonymous with greatness in Poland. And clearly, Tom Pavlansky looking to go back home, where his father had tremendous success at Poland High School. And we'll see what transpires there. Again, I think it's a fantastic move. I think it's a great decision by Coach Pavlansky. And, it'll be interesting to see what happens at Poland. I will say this, and I speculated on this, with no disrespect to anybody, in the last 10 years, you have not seen an awful lot of passing at Poland High School. It's been run-oriented. It's not that you don't pass the ball. It's not as prevalent as it was in some of the other schools. Tom Pavlansky will bring that passing element with him from Lakeview. His style was such where it was anything but 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So you will certainly see a different style of football, a different style offensively from Poland this coming year. The Bulldogs will throw the ball a little bit more. There's no two ways about that. So, from that perspective, I think it's a fantastic hire for the Poland Bulldogs. I'll be curious to see how this reverberates around the village of Poland, how this is going to impact Lakeview. Lakeview now has a decision to make. They have to find themselves a brand new coach, and we'll certainly see if Lakeview goes outside of the community or if they stay in-house and get a head coach. I'll be very curious to see what happens there. All right, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business, 330-886-0813. We'll take a timeout, be back to open up some phone lines and talk with you, the fans, on this Tuesday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Right now is a great time to get more for your trade-in at Tri-State Ford and drive home in a new or pre-owned vehicle. Choose from our great selection of new Ford models or pre-owned vehicles. Plus, get the Tri-State Ford Advantage, including a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty and more. At Tri-State Ford, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade, but you don't have to purchase one of ours to sell us yours.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Today's National Pizza Day. It's National Pizza Day. I got to ask, what's your go-to pizza? I mean, everyone has, I would assume, everyone has to have a go-to pizza. I mean, I know I do. I would assume everyone has their favorite pizza. You gotta throw a certain topping or two or three that you want to put on your pizza. Mine's simple. Mine is simple because it's okay. First of all, you're eating a pizza, you're getting a lot of carbs, so all kinds of bread on the pizza. I mean, let's be honest. My pizza is. You got to have pepperoni on it. No two ways about it. Pepperoni pizza is phenomenal. But I got to have sausage with my pepperoni. And then I got to have black olives. Now, I know a lot of folks would be like, black olives? Couldn't you have said mushrooms or I'm not a mushroom. That's the mushrooms to me. I mean, I can take them or leave them. Pepperoni, sausage, and black olives. You put that on a pizza, and you have my attention. You most definitely got my attention, and I'll probably eat half of that pizza. I'm just saying, that's my go-to pizza. Be curious to hear if anyone has a go-to pizza on this National Pizza Day. Now, obviously, we're not going to get into the argument of who has the better pizza because I'm going to be honest. There's about 10 pizza places in the Mahoning Valley that I am never, ever, ever in a million years going to say no to. So I'm not going to get into the argument of who has the best pizza because those are grounds for me to be unwelcome if I don't mention if I start mentioning pizza places and I happen to not mention one, and I order a pizza from that one place down the road, I can just see where they're going to say, "Oh, well, you didn't mention it on your program. We're not going to be too happy with you. You didn't mention our establishment on your program." There's way too many places that have good pizza in this area, so I'm not going to mention any places. I'll just mention my go-to pizza, which is pepperoni, sausage, black olives. And, obviously the cheese has to be on there, and little sauce. I'm not a huge sauce on my pizza kind of guy. Give me little sauce. I mean, it's got to be there, but it's a little bit of sauce, cheese, and I got to have my pepperoni, my sausage, and my black olives. There's my pizza. And wash it down with a couple of adult beverages, or soda, which I'm going to be giving up for Lent. So, some things that we got to give up. A week from tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. And later on this week, we'll start talking about things that, if you're Catholic like I am, you got to start giving up stuff for Lent. I've been thinking about putting a swear jar somewhere in the YSN building, but I got to be honest with you. If the swear jar is like a quarter, I'll be owing a shitload of quarters. I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of sort of like, nah, probably not, because I'll wind up giving away a lot of my hard-earned money to that jar. So that's probably not going to happen. But I am going to. I'll tell you what I am going to do. And I'm going to see DJ walk in here like, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to do this. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. God, it's going to pain me not to do this. I'm giving up chocolate. I'm giving up soda. And I'm giving up McDonald's. Now I have to preface this. Every breakfast, I'm not necessarily going over there to get any food or any breakfast food over there, although on occasions I have done that. My breakfast, if I'm getting one thing, it is coffee. I'm getting coffee over there. I'm going to give up McDonald's, and I'm going to give up chocolate, and I'm going to give up soda. And boy, am I going to be a pissed off mother. I'm just going to say that right now. Man, am I going to be pissed off for the next 40 days. But no, I'm going to see if I can do this. Now, where do I get my coffee? Well, we'll figure it out. But I'm going to give up those three things. 1 week from tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, hence 40 days of Lent between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday. So for these 40 days, I will be going without soda, without McDonald's, and without chocolate. Good luck. I was thinking about putting a swear jar and putting a quarter per naughty word, but like I said, I would be giving up way too much money, and that's just not going to happen. All right, we'll take a final timeout. Be back with the wraps on this bad boy. It's a Tuesday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Ruud gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy-efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Ruud, and so should you.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
High-res Futurecast shows steady snow for the next few hours.
Still just downright cold.
It is bitter out there.
Several strong bands of lake effect snow.
Winds is kind of the big story today as well.
So if you need a more detailed winter forecast on WFMJ.com and the Storm Tracker 21 app.
I went to Greenwood Chevrolet because I was really interested in looking at the tracks.
Because I wanted my dream truck.
Because I've been going there for 20 years.
I'm really happy that I went
to Greenwood Chevrolet.
Because they really went
the extra mile for me.
Now we're going the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSWealthAdvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
That'll do it for today's episode of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. I'll be over at Liberty tonight, broadcasting the Crestview Liberty game for YSNLive.com. DJ and the boys coming up next with Power Hour. We will talk tomorrow, noon to 3, Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Have a great